talk about it as really, really solid win for you guys. End of the season, senior day at the Rack Arena, and you guys got the job done. A great, great ceremony before the game, and a great performance by your team beating Albany on the court afterwards.
Yes, it was. We talked about it prior to the ceremony and everything. The whole week was a very, very busy week, and it was really very important to make sure the guys were prepared. Not that you're not doing it every game, but when you have two special seniors that are playing their last home game, there's a lot of things that go in, a lot of preparation that goes into not just the game, but making sure their families are able to be in certain areas in the gym, and just so many things that you have to make sure you take care of on a very special day. Because to me, I've always believed in when you have seniors who have made a commitment in your program for 4 years or 2 years, like Jay and Darryl have. That's got to be a very, very special time for them. I don't think it'd be a situation where you can rush right through it. You got to really be in the moment and,
Right.
and be a part of that to just make it seem so special. And just to have their families there and friends, and just to be a part of that whole situation was just very, very rewarding and gratifying. It's something that we'll long remember.
Let's talk about these two guys, Coach, and I'll throw it to you from both their standpoints. We'll start with Jay. When you brought Jay in as a freshman and saw what he could do in high school, did you ever imagine that he would have the magnitude or the impact that he had for the 4 years here?
As a coach, when you're recruiting a player, you like to think that. And I can remember people asking me the same question when we had Terrence Ward, and Terrence ended up being our fourth all-time leading scorer in UMBC history. And to be honest with you, as a player, you can see that and you're excited about it. But as a coach, rather, and you think you can make those projections, but you really don't know. What you can do is watch how a player performs every day in practice, and you can see the commitment, the dedication, the talent that he has, and then you can kind of figure out, okay, after his first year, see how he responds to, as we talked about numerous times, the college environment.
Right.
And then once you can see they can handle things, then the sky's the limit. And I knew when Jason first got here his freshman year, he didn't start. He actually worked his way in, but midway through the season, he became a starter for us. So, and then he just took off after that.
And with Darryl, it's a little different because he was a known quantity transferring
Right.
from Coppin State. So you kind of knew what he was kind of about. But,
Right.
what he's done is pretty incredible still with these 2 years.
Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. He's really, really been just terrific for us. When you look at a guy his size, 6'2.5". I know we list him as 6'5". When you look at a guy who plays much bigger than what he is, that just tells you a lot about him. And he's got some skills. He's got we say it all the time. He's got a very good basketball IQ. And he's a very confident player, and he likes to take the big shots. He likes to take the game-winning shots, and that says something about a player when you're in a situation, especially down the stretch, and the game's on the line, and either he or Jay are looking to take the big shots, and that just says something about them and their willingness to compete at that level and want to seize the moment and be in that type of situation.
And when you say team leader, some of those things you just mentioned about Darryl, but also some other things too. It kind of set him apart. What are those things that really set him apart from the guys?
Not only does Darryl have the ability to play basketball, but I think he's got a very, very, very good personality. I just think he talks to everybody, smiles. There's so many good players out there that one have this sense of entitlement, like you owe them everything, and he's just appreciative of everything that he gets. And once again, I think that stems from his upbringing. His mother, Paulette, has done a terrific job with him. His stepdad, Levi Franklin, who was also his high school coach at Paul VI, was very influential in helping him develop his skills as a player, because Darryl also played football too.
Right.
And So he also helped Darryl develop those skills as a high school player. And when you look at that and you see the balance, which you don't always see in athletes, whether basketball players or football players or baseball players, you don't always see that balance. But with Darryl, there is a good balance and a very uniqueness about him.
Now, we talked about kind of basketball IQ, but is there one thing, and I know coaches pride themselves on this, is there one thing you could say that since Darryl's been here that you've taught him as a coach to be a basketball on or off the court?
I don't know if you can say I taught him anything. I would like to think that we've been an integral part. Not to get off the subject, but I always look at Darryl Proctor will always be a member of our family, just like Jason Green. I just think he came here with a lot of things intact, that was taught when he was in high school. So I can't say that I gave him one thing or the other. The one thing that I will say that we've grown closer. And when he says, "Coach, I got you," then I know we're on the same page. So he just had. I just think he had a lot of things coming here when he enrolled at UMBC that I didn't have anything. I can't take the credit for that. I certainly think that he deserves a lot of credit for that, and his ability to want to be good and his ability to want to be coached.
Is it fair to say with Darryl and Jay that you go as far as they take you in the tournament and possibly an NCAA berth?
I would definitely say that, and I would say this too, that not only Jay and Darryl, but I look at two other guys on our team, Matt Spatafor, who's been through it, Justin Fry, who's just playing superb basketball right now for us, played 28 minutes against Albany and just did a fantastic job. I was supposed to play him a couple minutes here sparingly.
I noticed that.
But I as a coach too, you want to make sure your players are okay. And when the young man says, "Coach, I'm fine. I feel great, and I feel I can go," until he starts huffing and puffing. I tell you, he didn't. And that was one of the things I was concerned about, like how much stamina he was going to have. But I'll tell you, he was terrific.
No question. And I know you put him in the first half, and then I noticed out on the floor to start the second half, there he was right there. And so I know, looks like Justin's okay.
Yeah. No, he was fine. So I think when you have those two guys who have an abundance of experience, because this is their third year. This is Justin's third year. This is Matt's third year. So you look at guys who have some experience and guys who've been there. So if we can get those two guys to help us, and Matt, to give you an example, Matt Spatafor was terrific against Albany also, both Matt and Justin. And then Chauncey came in and just did a terrific job. So there's 5 guys, and I just think, as on this level, high school you can get away, I think, with having 2 good players. On the college level, you need 4 to 5 guys that can contribute some way, form, or fashion.
And that was another one of those typical American